Hello everyone, today we are going to be talking about these colorless blenders. Now I know these come in a lot of sets of markers that you guys may have. Today specifically I'm going to be talking about the Karen Markers blender pen, but some of these techniques you can probably use with other blender pens as well. There are 5 different ways that we are going to be covering as far as how to use these. And the first one is blending 2 colors. So you can use the blender pen to blend 2 colors together. First, you're going to want to start with a dark color on the top, and you're going to leave a space in between and then put the lighter color down below. Now you do want to work somewhat fast as these can dry quick, so you can pull the color down from the top and then make sure you have a paper towel nearby so you can wipe off the excess color, and then you want to pull up some of that bottom color so that they meet in the middle. And again, if you want the look where the colors are just kind of mixed together, then you don't need to keep wiping off the nib, but I just want like a seamless blending, so that's why I keep wiping off the nib so the colors don't mix too much and it's not too harsh in some areas. Here I'm just using the same technique, but I'm just going from left to right. So like I said, you want to use 2 colors and then leave a space in the middle. It's best to use 2 colors that are close on the color wheel. So like a blue and a green, purple and a pink, yellow and green, things like that. So the second technique is you can use the blender pen to soften edges of a border. So right here I'm just drawing a little mark. I don't even know what kind of a mark that is. And I'm going to run the blender pen along the line, the side of the line. Now what I forgot to do here is wipe off the nib in between. So make sure you wipe off the nib in between, because otherwise you're going to pick up that color that you have just hit and you're going to smear it on the bottom. So just make sure you use a paper towel to wipe off the nib. Next, I'm going to give it a shadow outline where I just soften the edges here. So I'm just going to do that. And again, wiping the nib in between as to prevent the color transferring onto any other area. I'll show it to you a little closer so you can just see how the edges are not so harsh. It just gives it almost like a blurred effect, which you can use for tons of different things. So the third way to use the colorless blender is called the Ombre Effect, or that's what I call it. You can use a colored pen on top of the colorless blender. You touch the nibs together for however long. You kind of have to experiment to see how long you want to hold it on there for. That will create the Ombre Effect, and that will determine how long it takes for the color to transition from dark to light. So as you can tell, I'm coloring and it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So the fourth technique is the multicolor effect. So you need the blender pen, and then I use a pink, a yellow, and a blue. And you'll see why I'm using those 3 specific colors. So first you're going to color a strip of your blender pen in pink, and then another strip in yellow. So you're splitting it up into thirds, your blender pen up into thirds. And then the last strip will be blue. And then you can just write whatever you'd like with it. And what I like to do when I'm doing this technique is to reposition the pen in my hand, like just spin it a little bit in my hand. That way on every single stroke you get different color effects, so it's not just stuck on the one side of the pen. So as you can see, there's different color gradients here. This next technique is the tie-dye effect. So you want to dip your colorless blender into water just to give it a little bit of extra moisture. And here I'm just gonna write like a rectangle. And next what you do is you can choose your colors and you're going to dab in some color. And you let it dry, and then that's when the magic happens. You do want to work somewhat fast on this, and if you're writing a whole word, you only want to work one letter at a time because you have to do this when it's wet. This is why all the colors mix together and blend, and it won't give you harsh lines because it's still wet. So that's why you need to work a little bit quickly. The end effect always reminds me of tie-dye. So if you want a full slowed down tutorial of how to do this, I will link that. So to answer the question, will this ruin my blender pen? And the answer is no. You can clean a blender pen. As you can see, I put color on it just to show you that it will clean off. You just have to keep writing until it comes clean. You can even dip it in some clean water and just keep scribbling on a piece of paper until the nib comes clean. Now, visually, it might be stained, but there's not color that's going to come off once you have wiped the color clean. So I don't want you to worry that any of these techniques are going to ruin your blender pen, because it won't, and it will go back to the original clear color that it started as. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, and it allows me to be able to make more videos so I can help you guys out. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other ways that you like to use your colorless blender.